It's astonishing how many different ways Mother Nature has come up with to determine whether an animal will be male or female. As you may know, the presence of a Y chromosome determines a person's gender. Females have two X chromosomes, whereas men have an X and a Y chromosome. But the process is kind of difficult for a clownfish, also known as anemonefish. A clownfish group is made up of a dominant male, a dominant female, and 0 to 4 young males. But all clownfishes are born as male. So where did the female in the group come from? Well, clownfishes are protandrous sequential hermaphrodites, meaning they develop into males before maturing into females. One of the biggest and most dominant males changes into a female if the female anemonefish is removed from the group, such as through death. The remaining males move up a rank in the hierarchy. This change of gender is irreversible, meaning they can't change back to their original gender. A small male can generate enough sperm to fertilize all of a large female's eggs since sperm is cheap to produce. This is why clownfish can transition from male to female. But here's the thing, how does a group of clownfishes detect whether there's a dominant male and a dominant female to then change genders? It's possible that female clownfish create a chemical signal that stops males from becoming female, but the specific process still remains unknown. Before we talk about the other animals that can change gender, let's briefly talk about the clownfish's home, the sea anemone. The clownfish is protected from predators by the anemone, which also provides food remains. In exchange, the clownfish use its vibrant colors to seduce fish into the anemone, where they are then poisoned and devoured. They basically form a symbiotic relationship with each other. The clownfish gets shelter and security from the anemone, while the anemone receives nutrients from the clownfish's waste and is also kept away from predators by the clownfish. Now I know what you're probably thinking. Can sea anemones also change gender? Believe it or not, they can. Both sexual and asexual reproduction can occur. Some species of sea anemones have distinct genders, while others are sequential hermaphrodites that change their gender occasionally throughout their lives. But clownfishes and sea anemones aren't the only creatures that can change gender. Frogs can too. Previous studies revealed that higher quantities of estrogen released into the water may be the reason for the male-to-female transformations occurring in frogs in suburban ponds. Or should I just say human pollution? Water sources are becoming contaminated by industrial chemicals, pesticides, and plastics that imitate the female hormone estrogen. These estrogen-like contaminants may be upsetting the reproductive systems of animals. According to a recent study, green frogs, rhonoclamatons, can change their gender even in unpolluted natural environments. The frogs may be responding to local temperature variations or other environmental conditions, according to an author of a study. In a 1989 research, it was discovered that 7 out of 24 frog individuals had protogeny, a specific type of gender change. According to reports, this happens when a population is too based on males. They believe that frogs can only change their gender when they are in the tadpole stage. So frogs are either born as male or female, and as they're developing, they're also changing genders. In the frog population, gender transitioning typically accounts for 2 to 16% of all frogs, meaning that it is rather uncommon for frogs to change their gender. You can kind of say the same for butterflies. Caretakers at the Natural History Museum in London were startled by a magnificent butterfly that emerged from its cocoon as a male on one side and a female on the other. The staff was shocked by the huge difference in the color of its wings and other aspects, which led them to conclude that the newly hatched giant Mormon butterfly was unusual. The butterfly is almost all black on its male side and has a 10 centimeters wingspan. However, the female side is considerably paler and contains distinct streaks of blue, red, and tortoiseshell. Some species, like butterflies, have a split that can be seen all over their body. Gynandromorphism, an uncommon genetic disease that affects some Lyonz butterflies, can cause male and female traits to be arranged either randomly or symmetrically, with one side being equally male and female. 1 in 10,000 butterflies had a condition known as gynandromorphism, an organism with both male and female traits. There are several hypotheses as to how gynandromorphy develops. Scientists believe it may happen in insects when two different kinds of sperm enter a single egg. One sperm joins the nucleus of the egg cell and develops normally as a female. A second sperm transforms into a male sperm in the cell's fluid, leading to the development of both a male and a female in the same embryo. Luke Brown, a butterfly expert, stated, "Gynandromorphism is just one of those things that happens at random with no clear cause of the genetic behavior. Since these kinds of butterflies are both male and female, I wonder what gender butterfly they mate with." See you later!